What's up, guys? Welcome back again to the CFC Chat YouTube channel. Guys, before we get into it, sorry, I stuffed that up, guys, but guys, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's go. Well, guys, that's our new intro, guys. I hope you guys
That is sick. I mean, it's the first time I'm seeing it as well. Oh my word.
Guys, I got one of my good friends to make it, guys. He made it, and when I saw it, I was like, oh, like, wow. Because I made a reference of something, guys. So, and he did it perfectly, guys. So big up to that guy, man. He was super did it well. But, we got already 8 people, guys, in the chat. There's a lot of people streaming today. If you didn't know. So hope we get a lot of people in today. But we got some quick hello to obviously Charles Perspective, man. Big up, man. He'll be coming on our next show. Obviously, Uncan always here, man. I'm gonna give him one, man, but I don't know how to do it, so I'm gonna get Muhammad to do it when he comes online. Ghost or Ogren, welcome, man. Welcome to the stream. CFC Muhammad, I saw you in here before. Welcome to the stream. Appreciate the cool intro, guys. It's a really good intro, guys. I really like playing it. It's pretty cool. So yeah, it's very good. So yeah, and obviously, guys, we're here joined with a co-host Amir. Amir, man, how are you doing today?
Yeah, pretty good. I'm absolutely buzzing after that intro, and I mean, it's got me even more excited for the new season. That's all.
Guys, we're gonna be using every stream, probably every video. It's pretty long intro, but it's very good, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's been in the works for about a couple of weeks now, so it's fine to present to you guys. I've been waiting to present it. So obviously, just back to Chelsea, guys. There's so much news to talk about, honestly. But I actually forgot to tell you when we were talking before. I mean, I woke up today and I saw this. Right, I'm gonna show on the screen. I got this ready, and I saw this, and I'm like, wow, this is perfect to show for the stream, guys. Look at this. So Marquinhos is one of the player Tuchel really wants to sign. With the contract talks, Christensen and Rudiger are not advanced. I think they signed a centre back, which is a reliable source from I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but Nizar. Yeah. So that's the news there, guys. I mean, when I saw that, I'm like, gotta have this for the stream. I'm like, I was so excited when I saw that. Like, that is amazing, Marquinhos. So obviously, what are your I can't speak to them. I'm just making too quick. What are your thoughts on that?
Obviously, Marquinhos is a fantastic player, and I know you would be delighted. That's for sure, because I was pushing for Rice, you were pushing for Marquinhos, weren't you? So that would be a perfect signing. And I think it sort of makes sense now that today we also got linked to Kimpembe by was it GFFN? I think Le Equipe from France. I think they quoted that Chelsea are keeping tabs on Kimpembe as well. And I think all of this is coming from the fact, it's stemming from the fact rather that PSG signed Ramos on a free, right? So and there's only going to be space for one person alongside him.
Yep.
And we know that it's Marquinhos and Kimpembe who usually play for PSG right there. So I think that's why both of them are being linked away. But, fingers crossed, I think he would be an incredible signing if we were to pull it off. I just think it's going to be really hard for us to lure him away from PSG in the first place. But if we do pull it off, then, I don't know, it would be a remarkable signing, honestly.
Well, if we do pull him off, that's going to be my number 5 on the back. Oh, wait, Jorginho's number 5. It's Marquinhos on the back. But yeah, I remember me and Uncan, we wanted Marquinhos there. Who's Staffa, man? Big shout out to me. I've seen you in the comments a couple of times. I appreciate you stopping by. What are your thoughts on academic graduates being sold to other clubs? That's a good question. I mean, we've got like heaps. I think there's another one. Lewis, what's his name?
Lewis Bate joined Leeds. Yeah,
we're getting a lot, and a lot more are coming as well. So I mean, we've got a lot of academy players. What do we do with them?
I think, honestly, that's a fantastic question, by the way. It's because I have, like, my thoughts around the situation are a little bit complex because I love the academy, right? I mean, I literally watch, under 23 games, which get streamed on the Chelsea app. I watch the UEFA youth leagues as well. So I love, watching young talents grow up. It's something that I love doing, love watching, sorry, and analyzing
Mm,
how they play. But when it comes to Chelsea, I think we're losing some fantastic talents, in all honesty. But at the same time, I think if you are good enough to play week in, week out at another Premier League club, then why would you not want to develop there? And why would you instead, stick at Chelsea and then play for maybe the B team, the development team, or maybe sit on the bench? That's what happened to Angerin last season, didn't it? I
mhm,
mean, he didn't go out on loan, but he was part of the first team, and he didn't get many playing opportunities. He got a couple under Lampard, but under Tuchel, I don't recollect him even coming off the bench. I mean, he was in a Champions League final squad, so he got the medal, but he didn't get playing time, right? And that sort of hampers development, which is what these players didn't want. And the loan system as well, it has worked for us recently off late. Of course,
mm,
we've seen Reece James, Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount a lot, come in and impress us a lot, which is why also this season we have sent Gilmore on loan, we've sent Colville on loan to Huddersfield Town, and we might even send Gallagher on loan. So I think that it makes sense, right? And some players are willing to go through that process and show that they are good enough to play for Chelsea. But on the other side, players like Bert Harris, who joined Brentford today. In fact, that was confirmed just before we started this stream. And Lewis paid to Leeds, and it also looks like Simiyu is going to join Southampton, and Livramento is close to joining Brighton as
mhm,
well. So I think the issue is that we have such a good reserve team, and we have to accept that not each and every one of them is going to play for Chelsea Football Club one day. I mean, it hurts knowing, because they are literally our guys, right? I mean,
mm,
these guys have been in the academy from the age of 8, from the age of 10, and they love the club basically. But at the same time, if they do want regular playing time, and we're not in a position to guarantee it to them at the moment, then fair play to them for rejecting the contract, and going out there and proving their worth at other clubs, basically, where they do have a pathway into the first team, and where basically their future is secured, isn't it? At Chelsea, it's sort of like you'll go out on loan and then you come back, and you may be included into the first team depending on the manager, because we don't have a managerial stability either, especially under Abramovich. If you've noticed, like 2 seasons and then you're gone, right? So it depends on the manager, it depends on a lot of aspects. And I think Frank Lampard coming in and promoting all these Cobham graduates is one thing which gave the academic graduates some hope. But now we're probably seeing a mass exodus because they're not being given a pathway into the first team. But at the same time, we're the champions of Europe, right? As long as we keep winning on the pitch, it doesn't matter. So it's up to the player, really, because it's not that everyone is leaving either, right? Because Colville has
mm.
agreed to go out alone and come back. And then we have Broja, who recently signed a new 5-year contract extension. So there are still players who want to make it at Chelsea Football Club, and we just have to keep them. And if the other players want to go elsewhere and prove their worth and then move to a bigger side, then fair play to them. We can't stop that from happening. But it hurts here because they're from our academy. But yeah, sorry about the rant, man. I just had to
No,
get
that
it
was
all out.
no, that was well said, and definitely that's what our channel is for, to obviously have a rant and speak about stuff that you enjoy and love. But yeah, definitely a lot of the academy players in particular, and as Anve did mention again, Loftus Cheek will part of the team this season, and I honestly don't think he will. I think we just got too many. I think maybe with Billy Gilmore on loan, he could have had a chance, but we just got so many players. Like if Gallagher doesn't leave, Barkley, we still got Loftus Cheek. We still got so many players in the squad, and I don't see Loftus Cheek probably taking a part because he is a great player. He got so much talent, and I think a lot of teams would love to have him on their side. Like a team like Fulham and someone like that, like a lower division team, would love to have him on the team. But as Uncan just said, we do have 44 pro players. We do have a lot of players in the team. Do we have to clean some out? Definitely. Like a lot of our even first team players. Like Max just said right now, is a little bit say his name, Tammy Abraham. If we bring in Haaland, then we do have to remove Abraham for the benefit of his career. Same as Emerson, same as probably even Zuma. So there's a lot of players that may need to leave if if we bring in other players. So
Yep,
to answer that,
100%.
Amir, Do you see Tammy Abraham leaving this season?
If we sign a striker, yes. But if we don't, then I don't think he's going to leave, in all honesty,
Yep.
because we've already got rid of Giroud, right? And we
Mhm.
don't have another out and out striker. Werner, as we know, can't play the lone striker role by himself, especially against the lower teams, the teams which sit back with the low block. So I would 100% keep Tammy Abraham around, especially if we don't get another striker in. But there is a lot of interest from West Ham and Aston Villa. And if they do match the 40 million asking price, then I can see Chelsea getting rid of Tammy Abraham as well. And that would sort of pave the way for Broja to be a surprise inclusion into Tuchel's plans the next season, if we don't sign a striker, that is.
Yeah, and obviously to the main topic of today's video, and as in the title, there has been a cash agreement for Haaland, and that's been everywhere, guys. If you haven't seen, same with Kane. So the two news in one day. So what we've seen with Haaland is that there's apparently been a bid for I think around 130 million pounds, and now it's up to Dortmund to either accept or reject because it's came out that Tuchel really wants him. So not Tuchel, Abramovich wants him more than Tuchel. Honestly, Abramovich wants him in. So Abramovich gets what he wants. And I was on Football Terrence today, and I was talking with Terry, and we were saying, if he comes in, will he make a difference? And I said 100%. And if we don't get Haaland, he said, what will Chelsea be like? And I say, if we don't get Haaland, we're not going to make top. We're not going to win the league. We may get top four again, but we're going to win trophies like FA Cup, Carabao Cup. But after winning Champions League, you want to go for that Champions League again. You want to try and keep going for that high. We're the best team in Europe. We're going to try and get as close as we can to keep being the best team of Europe. So quickly about Haaland. I mean, all these rumors. What do you think is going to happen with Haaland next coming days, weeks?
Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. I'm literally hoping and begging that Matlaw Fabrizio come out with that tweet because honestly, like you mentioned, right, the bid, I think it was from Footy Insider, was it? I think that's
I was trying to find it before. I could not find it. I
think
just saw everywhere, like just people saying it, but there's no source.
It's from a site called Football Insider. I think Football Insider, Footy Insider, one of them, because that's what I saw on Twitter, right? I saw Simon Phillips and those lot coming out with the source. So I think that is the source. I mean, fingers crossed that we've made the bid. Honestly, that would be delightful because Dortmund really, I mean, all these days they just kept thinking, you know what, Chelsea's not going to bid that amount. Chelsea's not going to bid that amount, and we can have Haaland for next season because like Sancho was just confirmed before we started our stream, by the way, wasn't it? I mean, United confirmed Sancho long back, but the official unveiling with the kit and whatnot. So I think they will be reluctant to let both Haaland and Sancho leave in one window. But on the flip side, they've also signed, I think they're close to signing Donyell Malen, who had an incredible Euros with Netherlands. So yep, let's see how it goes. And I'm hoping and praying that the bid news is true, because if we have, then the ball is in Dortmund's court, right? Because I don't see Haaland saying no to Chelsea personally. I think especially if he matches wage demands and if we give Raiola what he wants, then he will definitely be ready to come to Chelsea. It's about basically persisting with Dortmund, because they are not a team that let go of their players easily, as we saw with Sancho. It took them 1 year. I mean, United started negotiating with Dortmund last year and finally reached an agreement this year. So it's going to take some time to convince Dortmund, but it would be stupid of them to reject. If the reported fee of 130 million is true, it would just be bare stupid of them to reject, considering they have a 75 million euro release clause on him next season.
Definitely, I think that's very smart to release him now. The next, but as Max said on Broja, I think it'd be a perfect third option. As we had today, last season we had Werner, Tammy, Giroud. He'll be perfect as the third option. If we play with those FA Cup games, he can definitely start. And I'll love to see him in the squad if we get Haaland and if Tammy exits the club. So that'll be a perfect option for Broja to get game time and improve his game time. I just saw this. And again, this is 100% not true. Werner is not leaving at all this season. 100% he's not going to leave. So they're not going to get rid of Tammy until it's confirmed. And I think with the Marlon signing, that it's going to get closer and closer, because Marlon now getting a striker can possibly, predict that Haaland is going to possibly just leave.
On the flip side, they are getting a new manager, and the manager often likes to play with sort of two strikers. So it could be a Marlon
Yeah,
Haaland partnership that would actually bang.
that would.
Haaland is the finisher, and Marlon has that pace, and he has the movement, and Haaland has the goal. So that strike partnership would be fantastic. But yep, fingers crossed that he is a replacement and not his partner.
Hopefully, we would love to see that. So it's the question for Mia. So Mia, Lukaku's not coming.
I love Lukaku, and personally, he would be my top choice. But at the same time, if you guys do remember, Matt as well, when we had Tom on, I think that was when he made a very good point that Chelsea always sign players who have resale value, and so I don't see us splashing like 100 million or something on Lukaku. I mean, fingers crossed, and I still think that if we can't get the Haaland deal over the line, then we will drop a late bid in for Lukaku. But I'm not quite sure if Inter will accept that. I think I saw some report today from Tuto Sports saying Inter want 120 million euros. I don't think we're going to pay that kind of money for a 28-year-old striker, in all honesty. So fingers crossed, but I can't see that move going through unless we, completely fail for Haaland.
So I think if the Haaland deal somehow doesn't go through, they're still trying to get Lewandowski. So if Lewandowski doesn't. So if Lukaku doesn't really match, because he has not been in the news, I think it's been confirmed he is staying another season. But if Haaland doesn't go through, guys, what do you think about Lewandowski? Would that be a good option? I'm not sure, but I think 60 mil and he's 32 would be decent for a couple of seasons. But I think Haaland on the long term. Anve, appreciate these questions, man. Keep bringing them through, guys. Keep asking us through. Actually, quickly, Anve, before we get to that one, Max. Varane is confirmed to be staying at Real Madrid. Fabrizio Romano just said that he is staying at Madrid this season.
I think he said that he just reported for training, right? I'm not quite sure.
And then people was... Keep going.
I think Fabrizio said that he's reported for training and he won't go against Real Madrid's wishes. I think he said that, he wants to go, he wants to experience the Premier League, but then he won't go against his club's wishes, right? If United and Real Madrid do get an agreement on the transfer fee, then he would go. But if they don't, then I think he'll stick around. I think that's what Fabrizio tweeted today.
Yeah, because I think it's leaning towards now him not going to United, but and that's a good question. With Dan Haaland, Chelsea won't catch up to Man City's advanced tech if they get Kane, and Manchester also defense with Varane. So I think we need to really get that professional striker in and get him in quick. But I'm just hoping he doesn't have the same effect as Werner and kind of not do it so, because he had quite similar stats to Werner. I mean, not as high, but I think Werner still had 27 goals before he came to Chelsea, and then he didn't do as well there. So hopefully that. But back to Anve question, fantastic question here. Do you think Chelsea will buy a midfield? I think I was you, Mia, that I saw it was either Lukaku or... Was it you? It was like Lukaku or Rice or Haaland. Was that you? Your poll today?
Yep.
That was yours. So, a midfield, I think honestly we can get both. But if you would you just get Haaland or would you go for a midfielder? And if midfielder, who would it be? I think a lot of people know this answer.
It's easily Haaland, man.
Yeah. I think Haaland, everyone just wants it. But with the midfielder situation, I think... Again, it's up to if Tuchel wants a midfielder, honestly, because Chelsea can get it. Like they can get Rice if they wanted to, honestly. But it's if Tuchel really needs him. That's the thing. So at the moment, I think Tuchel is looking at him. There was something. I think Tuchel has interest in him, but isn't looking to put out a deal at the moment. What else we got here? Pogba not signing at Madrid. Any chance him and Kante playing together? Oh, you're talking about Chelsea? No, I don't think so. I think PSG or PSG have, like usual, have the upper hand on this. But I think the fee is about 90, 95. So it's a very, very high price for Pogba.
Although I think his contract is expiring next summer, which is why it sort of puts them in a difficult situation. But I don't think he would come to Chelsea. 1, 2, I don't think he would fit in either, especially with the sort of midfield situation that we have at the moment. I think the profile we're looking for is a DM, which is why we're after Tchouaméni, Rice, Marquinhos, those type of players, and we're not particularly after another we don't want an 8. We need a 6 or we need a DM. That's what we need at the moment. And I don't think Pogba is either of that. I mean, he is an 8, of course. He's the best in the world in his position on his day. But not for me at Chelsea, honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a fantastic player. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love Pogba. I love watching him play, especially for France when he's given that freedom. But not at Chelsea. Nope.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see him at Chelsea. I remember at the Juve days, he was fantastic, but not anymore. And this is a lot of questions. Do we really need Rice? The way I look at it is, I want to say it again, but I look at it and a lot of people are saying, we have a Euro. A lot of people saying, oh, look at the Euros. He played so well in the Euros. Well, look at Jorginho who won the Euros. He still won it. They came second. But besides the level of the teams, I don't see spending that money. Like, yes, we can throw that money out. It doesn't matter. Roman Abramovich could just spend it, but realistically, you would still want to save money as a person. No matter how much money you spend. So at the moment, I would say no. But I mean,
I mean, we
I think we
need
have the
that.
same answer. Oh, no, sorry, we don't have the same answer, but I think we know which answer we're both going to say.
Yep, exactly. I'm a huge fan of Rice. By the way, I would love him at Chelsea, but I think that it's the profile of the midfielder that's missing at the moment, which is why I still want a DM. I don't care who we go out for. I don't care if it's Ndidi. I don't care if it's Rice. I don't care if it's Tchouaméni. I don't care if it's Marquinhos. We need that sort of midfielder, because we have just 3 top class midfielders at the moment. Of course, Jorginho and Kante were one of the best midfielders at the Euros. Agreed. Kovacic is a fantastic midfielder as well. I mean, he was literally our player of the season a couple of years back. So he's a fantastic player as well. But that 4th position, right? I mean, ideally, it was Gilmour from January till the end of last season. But this season, Gilmour has gone out on loan, right? And I don't think we're going to see Barkley or Drinkwater or Bakayoko or even Loftus-Cheek for that matter genuinely have a shot at the first team. So we need a 4th midfielder, and we need that to be a different profile, a profile that enables us to switch to 4 at the back, which is what we need. We need a DM. So I mean, Rice is the perfect. He is literally the best young defensive midfielder in the world right now, and he would be a fantastic addition for us. But do we really, really need him? We need a striker more, but we also need a DM. That's how I would like to phrase it.
I think last on Twitter said, why don't we just go for Fred? And I started laughing. Fred. What? Why would you even curse with that? But do you think Jorginho will win the Ballon d'Or? No.
No, I mean, it's
Unfortunately not.
it's fun, to banter around with other football Twitter accounts, but genuinely speaking, definitely not.
Yeah, it's just gonna be. I think we spoke about this last time. I think Messi is just too clear. But there's also news as well. Reece James' sister, I think her name's Samantha. I'm
Nope,
not too
Lauren.
sure.
It's Lauren James. Yep,
Lauren James.
she
Yeah,
has
she's.
signed for us from Manchester United, with Blundell
Yep.
Blundell going the other way.
That's a good deal. So that's obviously the 2 James. There, Manchester United announced Jadon Sancho today, so obviously we had to one up them, and with Lauren James there. So that's a good sign for the women's team. But yeah, if you guys just tuned in yet, Jadon Sancho has officially been announced by United, and Chelsea were actually supposed to have a game today, but unfortunately due to COVID they cancelled it. So we're actually gonna do the same what we did with that's why I can't set up for today, but unfortunately it got cancelled. I didn't realize just a couple hours ago.
Yep, I think it was yesterday against Drogheda United.
It's supposed to be today.
Was it? Okay.
Was it today?
Yeah, I think the squad just played an intra training friendly, didn't they? Yep.
Yeah, so that was unfortunate. I would like to see them play again, but they're playing in 4 more days, so we'll see them in 4 days. There is no way Marquinhos is leaving the summer. That's the big problem. I don't think he will leave, but obviously we all like to just dream and hope a miracle happens. But obviously over to Kane now. Kane's been highly linked. I think I saw an article where it said like he's come out, and someone's come out from Sydney to say like they're interested in Kane and they want Kane for 100. I put in the title and I forgot. It was 160 million pounds. So that's a very, very big price for Harry Kane to go to City. But again, as I said before, I don't see him leaving. I generally don't see him leaving. I see that they are in the Conference League, and as Son just signed an extension, I do not see Kane leaving. Honestly, I do not see him. I see him staying another year. Maybe living up to his legacy and winning that trophy for Spurs. Even no one really cares about the trophy, but and then then he can part ways. But I mean, what do you think about Kane and going to City?
I think it's going to happen this summer. Honestly, I know I've said before that it's going to be a very difficult deal for City to pull off, especially Son. That's a very good point. Son signed a contract. Was it 2026, I think, or 2025?
2025.
Yeah, that's basically a very long time contract,
Yeah.
isn't it? So Son's basically said that I'm going to stick here for as long as it takes. But Kane, on the other hand, I think he made it very clear towards the end of the season that he definitely wants to leave Spurs, and I don't know how much of that has changed since he went to the Euros. But it could be an interesting few weeks ahead, especially if City do pay up, if they pay that kind of money which Spurs are asking. Then I don't think Daniel Levy is going to come out and say, you know what, no. Especially if Kane himself comes up and says that I think it's time for me to leave. Then I think Spurs would be pressured into accepting that massive bid from City if it does come in. But yeah, it's up to City to make that bid in the first place. So yep, let's see how this unfolds. But you could see his body language towards the end of the season, and he was genuinely done with the club, with the players, with everything. He's just wants a fresh start, and honestly, he should not have signed that huge contract which he did a couple of seasons back. Which is why he is suffering at the moment, and which is why Spurs are in control of his future and not himself.
It's unfortunate in his perspective, but in our perspective as Chelsea fans, I would rather him stay at Tottenham than go to City.
Yeah.
Honestly, you'll rather, because he'll just be the same old Kane. He'll get goal and goal, but Tottenham aren't gonna get high. They're not gonna. But if he goes to City, that's gonna be scary because he's gonna do fantastic at City. He knows the Prem, he knows City, and he's going to be very, very lethal. But obviously, kind of old news, and Max, as Max pointed out, Danny Ings. I would not want to see Danny Ings at Chelsea. I mean, I really like Danny Ings. I think he's a fantastic striker, but he's one of those players where he performs for how I say, kind of like the under 6 teams. Like it's kind of like someone like Jack Grealish, for example. He performs so well for just his team. Because I do not see Jack Grealish performing for United, but I see him performing just for Southampton and performing well just for his team because he's been in that team. He's loved by the fans. He's been there for a while, and I think he's just going to only perform in that team. I do not see him, and he's very old as well, but I do not see him going to United and bigger teams like that. I think he'd be perfect Southampton. I think honestly stay there, become Southampton legend, and honestly just go from there.
Yep, definitely. He's 29, but I think that is another tricky situation for Southampton because his contract expires next year, and he's unwilling to sign a contract extension. I did see Spurs getting linked with Danny Ings as well. I think that would be a pretty decent move for him. Honestly, I think he would do pretty well at Spurs, especially under Nuno, who likes to have 2 centre forwards. I think he could. Nuno does play with 3 at the back, right, and up front he has sort of sometimes 1, sometimes 2 players up front. But I think he would do really well at Spurs, and they do need a backup for Kane, don't they? I mean, even if Kane leaves or even if he doesn't, they do need a backup. So I think that would be a good move. It would be a cut price deal, and I think he could be a short-term fix. But yep.
Yeah, I mean, this coming here, De Bruyne with Kane, that would be insane. Like their second team. It's going to be their second team is better than Arsenal's first team, honestly. After this squad is amazing, the second team. But I think the one team that just scares me, and I've been saying this for weeks now, is PSG. And if they get Pogba, that's over. They're finally going to win the Champions League. They might win the treble, but we'll hopefully see from there. Updates on Kepa leaving. I don't think he's going to be leaving, but I did see something this morning that Chelsea are looking for a third keeper for Marcus Rojo. I saw it today.
It's Sergio Romero. I think
Sergio Romero. Romero. That's right.
He is
Marcus Bojo. That's like some Australian keeper. What did I say, Marcus Bojo? But Sergio Romero. But yeah, he's looking at coming. They're interested in him, and I think it'd be perfect. Honestly, perfect option. He was so underrated for Man United. He started for Argentina in the World Cup. Did fantastic in the World Cup, and then comes to United and just sits on bench. But so I hope comes to Chelsea when Mendy goes to AFCON. Sergio Romero can definitely come on and keep for them.
Yep, 100%. Because especially the fixtures that we have in that month, right? I am dreading it from now. If Kepa is in goal for those fixtures, then it's going to be. I don't know, man.
I mean,
it's lost before it's even begun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind Kepa. I think he's decent, but we still want someone who is confident on the ball as well. Someone who
Yeah,
is actually confident and good at the team. I think Kepa's good, but I don't think because we're versing Arsenal and Liverpool during the AFCON season, so like they're not these small games where he normally plays. Like in the FA Cup, he plays as small
exactly.
teams. It's the
And
big teams
his
we're talking about here.
Exactly, and his biggest weakness, in fact, I mean, I know that people say he's short, he can't collect the crosses, he can't command the box, but he gets beaten from long shots way too easily, which is also why I would be
Mm.
very cautious, making him second choice. But although I think he will be, logically speaking, because even if Romero does come in, does he displace Kepa straight away, right? Because Kepa, of course, he is world record fee for a goalkeeper. He earns like what 140K a week, so it's
Mhm.
not going to be an easy decision financially for the club to swallow, considering how much we've invested in Kepa. But yep, I don't know, man. Hopefully someone comes in and takes him away on loan, but it's
Yeah,
looking unlikely.
I think honestly, just someone just to come and get him and just honestly sell him, like get maybe 20, 30. I think Lazio was interested a couple of months ago. I do not know what happened to that, but I mean, someone just needs to come and strip him for a couple of mil. Honestly, just free up a bit of space. Like half our team is Emerson, guys. Emerson, Alonso. I think we should clean them up. Honestly, like
Yep.
just sell him for a couple 10, 20 mil. Maybe keep Alonso, sell Emerson for about 20, 25. Tammy for 40. And get some good cash
We
there.
have so many others as well. Barkley,
Yep.
Bakayoko,
Loftus Cheek back.
Baba Rahman,
But Barbara
Zappa
Graham, why isn't the
Costa.
guy still in the squad? Zappa Costa. Oh my god, I can't believe that they're still in the squad. To be honest, honestly, I think about them, they're still in the squad. I thought we could send this message. I forgot to send them the Discord server, guys. If you guys not in the Discord server, guys, go join that now, guys. Chen, there's over 3,000 Chelsea fans in that Discord server. We have not actually shouted that out for a couple of months now, guys. So sorry
Yep.
to the admin. So we're asking for that. But Keeper's been working. He has. I mean, he has been working in goals. I mean, as we said a couple of times, like a lot of people don't know what he was been going through, but I think he's just lost that confidence from that, and it will be hard for him to get it. But I don't see him again playing against Arsenal, or Liverpool. I think he's perfect for FA Cup games. When we play FA Cup, champion and a couple of Champions League games with those pretty easy teams, but I don't see him playing against those big teams. Zappa Costa. Honestly, our right wing back, we have James, Aspie, and if we need a right wing back, Hudson Odoi can play it. And I wouldn't want Zabba Costa as the fourth option. I'd rather just sell him for 10 mil, get 10 mil out of him.
Yep, honestly, I think Zappa Costa is too old as well. I think Dujon Sterling is another name that especially Adam Newson has been sort of coming up and saying that he could be a surprise inclusion, and that Tuchel is very impressed by him in training. So he could be our sort of backup right wing back. But Zappa Costa, I think surely he's got to go. I think. I mean, with Dujon Sterling, at least like he's young, he's 20, right? The scope for improvement. But Zappa Costa, he's past his prime. I think he's 29 or 30 at this
29,
moment.
yeah, just looking now.
So there's no point in keeping him around. Honestly, whatever 10 mil, 15 mil we can get for him, just take the money and run at this point.
I just searched up his name and it comes up with all the players Chelsea need to sell. Zappa Costa, Bakayoko, Barkley, Batshuayi, Ethan
We
Abarju,
still
and
have
Anderson Kennedy.
Batshuayi at the club. Oh my
Just
days.
tell him,
I just
honestly, just get
forgot
free.
that.
Yeah.
I forgot he even existed, man.
And it's like he's not gonna. I'd rather have Boja play up
Yeah,
up front as a third than
definitely.
Batshuayi come, because at least
Definitely.
he's gonna have potential. Batshuayi 5 mil. Ampadu, I don't know. Ampadu, I think just get rid of him, man. I think he had a horrible season at Sheffield. He did play at the start, but just 10 mil stay at Sheffield. I just don't see him coming back. I don't think there's a chance that Chelsea and Amir will. All those players I mentioned, what do you have to say about that?
I think it's time we start clearing the deadwoods. I think this is what sort of infuriates me, and I didn't explain this earlier when I was talking about our youth academy graduates basically exiting. Right, what I really meant to say was. I mean, this as well, right? I mean, this is case in point.
Mm-hmm.
How are we letting go of promising young midfielders like Lewis Bate while we still employ Danny Drinkwaters? Because we cannot sell our deadwoods. And this is sort of, I think I read an article, I don't know who exactly wrote it, but it's because Marina, she is she is basically like the queen of the market, right? And she demands very high transfer fees, and we've seen that she's made a profit on basically every player that we've got. She made a profit on Morata. I don't even know how that's possible, but she did it, right? So I think, which is why she asks for such high fees that no club is willing to pay that up, especially in the COVID market, right? Which is sort of why we're failing to move a lot of this deadwood on, and these deadwood are blocking the youngsters' path into the first team, which is what angers me more, honestly.
No, that's very well said. I think that's perfect. I think our deadwood isn't getting sold, and that's unfortunate. Our academy players are let go, and I think
Yep.
that's a shame because we have so many great academy players who are in the team and who've been let go. And I think these deadwood like Drinkwater, Zappa Costa, Bakayoko just need to go. Like, just stop it. Like, honestly, it's cheaper just to sell them for free than have them and pay them 80K a week. It's just cheaper.
Yep, exactly.
But back to Anve's question, you said, do you think Emerson will leave? I mean, if you want to answer this one.
Yep, I think he would if I think Napoli are the team, if I'm not wrong, who are most interested in him. But they're bidding like it's just disrespectful. I think they bid what, 8 million euros. That's like
Yeah.
6 million pounds. I mean, that's Drinkwater's yearly salary, man. That is just disrespectful. I mean, especially after Spinazzola got injured in the Euros and Emerson came in and did a brilliant job in the semis and the final. So I think we have every right to ask for 20-25 million. But I don't know if the Serie A clubs are in a position to spend that kind of money, especially on a left back. So it could be tricky. But if the right offer comes in, then I think he still will leave. I think we will come to some sort of compromise, but it's just the Serie A clubs have got to stop disrespecting us and come up with some real cash. And as long as they do that, I think he's on his way out.
Yeah, honestly, it's a big disrespect. 8 million is nothing. I would say, honestly, I was about to say 20 mil for Emerson because he has a Euro to his trophy and a Champions League. I don't think people recognize. Like, I was talking to a lot of people. I don't think they recognize that having a trophy to your name does increase your value. Like Brewster for Liverpool, his price went up like 6-7 million just for sitting on the bench for Liverpool and still winning a trophy. So people don't understand that when you win a trophy, your value does go up. So I think Emerson, after winning the Euro, maybe from 20 goes up to 25. So, but unfortunately, we'll buy it for 2025. So I think a 15 could be a good outcome for that. And I do think keep Alonso. I mean, he has to be the backup. I mean, we really can't get another backup, another left back. I wouldn't spend money on him. He's perfect for a backup. Honestly, he's decent, and I think saving us some money and that'll be good. Barkley, I saw that. I saw Barkley back. No, West Ham were interested in Barkley. I saw West Ham was interested in Barkley. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know what they're asking for, but obviously with the exiting of Lingard, and they're not buying him back, which is very unusual. I think the price was too high. So they can just probably steal Barkley for, again, 10-15 million and that'll be done, honestly. So, I mean, what do you think Barkley? Where do you think he should go?
Especially if West Ham in particular are interested, then just throw every player that we've got and try to get Rice in return. That's where I'm at the moment. But I think we signed him for 15 million. A lot of I think was it 2.5 years back or 3.5 years back, and we've got so much loan fees from his move to Aston Villa and stuff as well. So I think 10-15 million would be a pretty good deal. And I don't think West Ham are incapable of paying that. I think that should be pretty decently available. As long as we quote a lower price than what Manchester United are quoting for Lingard, I think I can see this deal going through.
I think Lingard was 33. I think I saw 33.29, which is very high. I mean, I would have gave it to him for 5-10 mil, but I mean, definitely the right price. But again, Spinazzola to Chelsea, I don't see Spinazzola. Again, he's injured. There's no point, honestly, because we have Chiwa already. We've got Alonso for backup. If we need someone else to play left back, there always is Aspie to play there. So we don't really need a backup. I mean, we've got the skill for left back, so I don't really see another left back coming in.
Yep. And also another quick left back news I just saw before coming on. I think Nizar was the one who tweeted it out. He said that Ian Matson, our academy left back who was on loan last season in the Championship, he's going to Coventry City on loan for the following season. I think that's what was reported. It's not confirmed yet, but I think he could be joining and could be announced soon as Coventry City new left back on loan, though. It's not a permanent deal.
Some good news there. Breaking news. I mean, normally those deals when they go to smaller clubs normally are right because obviously it's not. We don't. Why would they rumour just a random League 2 club? But what's a man from Thailand? Hope you enjoying the stream there. I think I wish I don't forget when he arrives. So I wouldn't call anyone Deadwood at this point. I mean, you know, honestly, when you think of Drinkwater, I do not see him performing. You know, like I just don't see it. I just don't see Drinkwater. I mean, maybe we could see Loftus-Cheek. That's the only potential from our Deadwood that I see can perform. And obviously Abraham. But obviously Abraham will leave for a cost. These other players, these Deadwood, would leave just to clear up space. So I think honestly the only person I see is Loftus-Cheek, maybe Barkley, but Drinkwater, Zappacosta, like I don't think they're meant for Chelsea. Like he was at Genova, I think Genova, Zappacosta.
Yeah.
Genova,
Was it Genoa? I think it was Genoa. Yeah.
It was some.
Was it
It was
Genoa?
some.
Yeah, or was it Torino? I think no, we signed him from Torino. Not
It
quite
was
sure.
yeah. It was yeah. It was Roma.
Genoa?
No, Genora. It was Genoa.
Genoa, yeah.
Roma.
We signed him
So
from Torino, I think.
yeah, we
That's where I
signed.
got
So
confused. Yeah.
you know, and I'm looking at his stats now. It was like 25 matches, 4 goals. I mean, he's a right back, which is it's decent, but this is again Italian league. But I do not see him come back. I remember the only thing I really remember for Zappacosta is the goal line clearance in the Europa League. Was it final or semi-final? The semi-final against Frankfurt.
Frankfurt, yeah.
So that was the only thing I really remember about him. Drinkwater should retire. I think Drinkwater just needs to go to another club. I think he doesn't have time. I mean, when we played with the under 23 a couple months ago, and he just had that fight with that other player, and I just
yeah. He got a red card in the game as well.
Yes, like what is he doing, man? What is he doing? Like if you really watch him, like he's just, I don't think he wants to be there. He's just got the money.
He just doesn't seem interested in football anymore. He's just taking home that 100K a week, which he's getting from Chelsea, and he's living the life.
And I think he should be like Bernard from Everton. Like him, he went to China to play. You know, I think Drinkwater should do the same and just go get 200K a week. Honestly, we can get at least a big, because we go to China, we get a lot of money from China and then Arabian country. So just go there, we get a big sum, and he can have his wish and get 300K just to play in the Chinese Super League. Like unfortunately that Bernard did. He was a fantastic in the World Cup for Brazil, played for Everton, and he just fell off. So unfortunately, as another transfer guys, he went
a lot
to
of players, unfortunately. Oscar as well from Chelsea long back. El Shaarawy from Roma, Carrasco for Atletico Madrid, Teixeira from was it Shakhtar Donetsk? I think he was a promising striker, but then decided to go to China. But I think this would be a more sort of a correct move. I think when you're in the twilight of your career and you know that you're declining and you know that you aren't at your best, that's when you should go, not in your prime. But Drinkwater, I think his deal expires in 2023, doesn't it? It's not even 2022, so I just don't know.
They just got to get rid of him, man. They can't. I mean, like as perspective, they don't even want Leicester. Like Leicester don't even want him back. Like Leicester, what a signing, man. Honestly, if I was a Leicester fan, I mean, they are. They're so happy. But Food Mango, man, what's up? Welcome to the channel, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, I mean, surely a championship can do with Drinkwater. I mean, obviously he's not a bad player, because if he's bad, he wouldn't be even in the Premier League. He's got to the Premier League level. He's at that level, but not for Chelsea. Not for Chelsea. Somewhere else.
He's a Premier League winner, isn't he? He won the league with Leicester City, Drinkwater and Kante pivot. So, he is a fantastic. I mean, was rather a fantastic player. I can't say is, but he went on loan. Was it to Aston Villa or Burnley? I think, and then he was.
I think it was Burnley.
Was it Burnley? And it didn't work out there either.
It was one of the teams that he barely played a game, and it was really confusing. I think it was Aston Villa. I'm gonna search it up because I don't remember.
Yeah,
but wherever he went, it was nothing. Yeah, it was Burnley. He went to Burnley and Aston Villa.
So I wasn't wrong. He went to both the Claret clubs. But it didn't work out anywhere, either of those places. So I mean, I don't know, man. He's a lost cause. Like I said, he's given up on football at this point. He's probably using that money to invest in some businesses or start his own restaurant or some stuff like that. And he's just going to live off that money, man, because after that contract expires at Chelsea, he's just going to retire. I think
Yep.
that's what he's going to do.
Honestly, just let him. Honestly, just I mean, if you don't enjoy it, just get that money. But what do you think about Dusan? Is that the Serbian guy
Dusan
from
Vlahovic, yep, Fiorentina.
Valentina? That's right. He had that amazing stat. He's a 21-year-old. I, I mean, as we were saying, like we need someone to perform now. Like I mean, he's promising. He's got the goal, has the stats, but you know, I don't see like him as obviously. I don't know how to explain it. Honestly, I don't know. How to explain. Like obviously, he doesn't have the coverage. He's not as popular as Haaland. I mean, let me. Just, I want to get the exact. But I mean, you go. I'll just check these exact stats. I don't remember. I think it was 20 goals in
Yep, I
40
think
games. So just you go. Yeah, I'll
it
check
was
it.
something around that figure, especially in the Serie A. I think in all competitions, it probably looks a little bit worse. But if you count
Ah, yeah.
only the league, I think he has a decent amount of goals in the
Yep.
league. With so
21
yeah, 21 goals is a fantastic
and
figure. Which in
37 games. Yeah, he's played
Yep,
every game. Wow.
yeah, that's really good figure, isn't it? I mean, considering you look at the Premier League last season, and I think like what just probably Kane and Salah are the only two people who got 20
Mm,
goals last season in the Premier League. So it's not an easy task. Of course, in the Premier League, it's going to be a much bigger ask than the Serie A. But I think he still has a lot of development ahead of him. And you know what? I think he is at a stage in his career where he's really good. I think he needs another season there to sort of develop and mature, and then he needs a move to sort of a mid-table club, and then finally he's ready when he's 24, 25 to make that switch to the top club. Because like you said, we need goals now, right? Which is
mhm.
why we're getting rid of Tammy Abraham, and which is why we're getting rid of all the other young sort of strikers at the club as well. We need goals now. It's not in the future. And which is why we're only targeting that upper echelon of class, isn't it? We're linked with Kane, we're linked with Lukaku, we're linked with Lewandowski, and we're linked with Haaland. And Haaland is younger than all the others, but he manages more goals than the others anyway, right? So that's
Mm.
not really much of a comparison. So I think, yep, we don't need plan Bs, right?
Yep.
Having plan Bs is what landed us in the situation with the Deadwoods in the first place. We need to target the best, go for the best like we did in the last window. And if we can't, then we might as well wait for it and, play it out next season when his release clause comes in.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think I saw Tottenham was interested in if Kane goes, and that's their
Yeah,
backup.
that would be a good
So
signing
that
for
would be good
Spurs.
for Tottenham. Yeah, honestly, he's definitely a fantastic player, but we need someone, as you said, now. No more Plan Bs, like now. Plan A, Plan A. But Hudson and Doyle next season, yeah. I mean, same as Werner, Havertz. Watch the whole team next year. That's what I'm saying. We don't really need too many players. Like, only players we need is a striker, which can improve other players too. That can make Werner make more goal opportunities and make other players perform better as well. Um, but yeah, Madison to Arsenal. I mean, that'd be a very good signing for Arsenal. I mean, Xhaka's leaving, Ceballos is leaving, Luiz is left. So a lot of their team is leaving. It's breaking apart, and Lacazette's
Yep.
linked to be leaving. So Madison, I think it's going. I think they're buying him for super cheap. I think last year he was reported for 60 million. Madison now it's like 30 to 20. So I mean, what are your thoughts on Madison to Arsenal?
Honestly, why would he downgrade, right? Because
Yeah,
Leicester are at a
poor guy.
much better
Yeah.
position than Arsenal at the moment, and it would be stupid in all honesty. And especially just yesterday, Emil Smith Rowe signed a new long-term contract, and
Mm,
he was given the number 10 kit as well, right? And I think
mm.
Madison would have definitely wanted the number 10 kit had he gone to Arsenal. So I think it would just be pure stupidity at this point if he were to go to Arsenal. Honestly, I'm sorry for using the word, but if I was Madison, I wouldn't even think twice. I mean, staying at Leicester is so much better than going to Arsenal at this point. Arsenal
Mm.
don't even have European football. And I think with the signings that Leicester have made this season, they should be competing for one of the Champions League places. I mean, last 2 seasons, we saw them miss out purely because they didn't have depth, right? Their first team is definitely good enough, but when someone from the first team is missing, they don't have quality options to come in and do the job. But that's what they've focused on this season, and they've got Sumare, they've got Batson Daka, and they've got, I think, Bertrand as well at left back. So they've got some very good signings in, and they have the depth. So this season they would be one of my favorites to finish in the top four. And it would be stupidity to leave Leicester and go to Arsenal at this point, honestly.
Who was number 10 for Arsenal again? Was it Pepe or?
Nope, it was Ozil, but then once Ozil left, it was
Yeah, that's
vacant. Now
right.
it's Smith Rowe, Emil Smith Rowe. Upon
Oh,
signing the new
that's
contract,
right.
he's been
Yeah.
given the number 10.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I was left. Let me tell you, I thought someone else would have gotten it when he left. Madison Arsenal, it would be a good deal. I mean, Arsenal, they're losing players. They've been losing their friendlies, and they had their full team on. They let go of Matty Ryan and Martinez, and then they signed Ramsdale, which makes no sense.
I mean, they're linked with what Ramsdale for 30 million, Ben White for 50 million,
Yeah,
and
oh
then
yeah,
Madison for 30 million as well.
Ben White, 50 million.
I don't know where they're getting the cash from, honestly.
I don't know how they got the cash. Obviously, Arsenal probably one of the most biggest fan base. They have a huge fan base, but obviously, I don't know how they're getting 50 million and putting on Ben White, and Varane's coming into probably United for 45, which shows that the English name is more money, no matter how many Champions League trophies you have. It's just if you have an English flag next to your name, you're just worth more. But Ben White, like he's a good player, but not 50 million, man.
Yeah.
If I was on the war, we'll hopefully see you on the next stream. We can have a good war there.
Yep.
Nah, I think a lot of people underestimate this. I think there's no way we will get Haaland next season. Or next season.
Yep.
Yeah, next season, 75 million clause. Every team's gonna be in to get it, and
But the issue is, I don't think we're that far off as other people claim. I think Chelsea is definitely more,
no, yeah.
more interesting project. Especially, it's like the likes of Barcelona and Real Madrid in the past. Yes, they had that pull, right? The mere name of Barcelona and Real Madrid would get your blood excited. But right now, I don't think that's the case. I think we are a better project than Barcelona and Real Madrid are at the moment, honestly. And I think Real Madrid would be concentrating more on Mbappe and not Haaland. And Barcelona, I think once Messi retires, they're finished, right? Especially they're already in such a big mess. But once Messi leaves the club and he retires, I think 2 more years is probably what he's got. So let's see. He's doing wonders at this age, which is a surprise in itself. But once he goes, I don't think Barcelona are going to be that fierceful as they once were. And I think as things stand, especially look at the kind of young talent we have at the club. We have Kai Havertz, we have Mason Mount, right? Even Werner's on the younger side. We have Hudson-Odoi, we have Pulisic, we have Reece James, we have Christensen. And in midfield, we have Gilmour as well. And we have Chilwell. And we have Thomas Tuchel, who's a fantastic tactician, right? Our project is more interesting than a lot of other projects out there. And I still think that if we don't get him this summer, he'll go to Bayern. They'll finally get rid of Lewandowski, and then they're going to sign Haaland. That's what I think will happen. But we're going to be right up there in the pecking order because we're one of the few clubs that still needs a striker. I think City are definitely going to get a striker this summer, so they wouldn't be in for Haaland next summer as well. If they get Kane this summer, there's no way they're going for Haaland next summer. So I think we'll definitely be in the running. It's not going to be no way. It's going to be tough to convince him, but it's not as bad as some people think it is, honestly.
That's what I'm saying. I think a lot of people underestimate how close Chelsea are to Haaland and even Lewandowski. I had to sneak that in once, guys. I had to sneak that in once. Lewandowski.
The Thomas Muller meme up too.
I was saying that for a week straight, and then I realized his name's not even Lewandowski. It's Lewandowski. Oh, I love that man, Muller. But yeah, I think this season we're just super close. Would love to see him at the British. Obviously, that Marlon, it's giving us a bit more, hyped up and hope as well to get us there. But yeah, more Haaland news to come, guys. Anvay with the question. Appreciate your questions today, Anvay. They've been fantastic. Which team do you guys support in the World Cup? Who do you support in the World Cup?
It varies from moment to moment. I'm not gonna lie. I don't. Basically, I'm from India. In case you guys didn't know, and we're a long way off from qualifying for the World Cup. The lesser I talk about that, the better, honestly. Because if I go on a rant, it's gonna take a very long time. But yeah, so I look at mainly the Chelsea players and then choose to decide. So I supported Germany a while back because I like them a lot, and then later on I supported Belgium because of Hazard, and I supported Italy. And I think those are, and England as well, just purely for the Premier League vibes. I mean, you look at that team and it screams Premier League, doesn't it? Which is why I like England as well. But yeah, those are the 4 teams which I look out for in the World Cup personally. But I mean, as long as any Chelsea player is in the team, I support the team that has the Chelsea player.
Yeah. Yeah, so obviously because I'm from Australia, like we're decent though. We just beat Argentina.
You guys beat Argentina, didn't you?
Yeah, but Argentina had like one player, like the guy from Brighton, the one that looks like Messi. McAllister. That's the only guy Argentina had, and we won. But they're decent. But I follow Italy as well sometimes too. But yeah, that's our World Cup, and it's
I mean,
gonna be
at least you
exciting
guys
next year.
qualified for the World Cup,
Yeah,
right?
we.
So you have something to look forward to.
I'm looking forward to that next year. But yeah, and again, Barca can't even sign the new signings, which is unfortunate and that's why they're trying to get rid of Griezmann. But they've got some good signings this season,
Yeah.
and I'm really Depay is fantastic signing. That's a very very good signing on the free. So that's a good signing from them. Belgium, that's nice. It's from India too. Appreciate you for watching from India. Yeah, this is what I'm saying, man. I mean, and I pick he does next year because every game he misses, I'm like, give it to next season. Wait next season because next season I just see him being so well. Because players need to adapt to it. Like, who were we talking about? It was someone Ballack. I think it was Ballack. Ballack was it Ballack? I think it was Ballack. But his first season, he did like horrendous, and then come to other seasons, like he played so much better. So I think one is going to be that same as Ballack, and hopefully be good next season.
He just needs to sort out his composure, man. Honestly, I was just seeing the tweet. I think it was from Vince. He said that Varane literally had 23 goal contributions last season, and that's, I mean, considering how much he's sort of made fun of on Twitter and whatnot, I think that's pretty good figure, right? I mean, if he can even convert half of the big chances that he missed about 21 or 19 big chances last season, if I'm not wrong. It's one of those two figures. So I think if he can even convert half of that makes him a 35 goal contribution striker, right? 35 goal contributions in a season is a fantastic season in my opinion. So hopefully he sorts himself out next season and just does he just needs to chill, man, in front of goal. He does everything right. He times his run to perfection, collects the ball beautifully right before he's about to shoot. It's like he forgets how to play football, right? It's like the O on his controller just doesn't work. I don't know. But yeah, he just needs to sort himself out in front of goal, and he would be a brilliant striker. And I think next season, especially if we sign someone to play alongside him, he would have a fantastic season.
Exactly. That's where Haaland comes in to support him with that. But as Shun said, Shun appreciate the comment, if Dortmund are not willing, or Chelsea/Haaland not happy with the wages, who will be the backup search? Is Tammy an option? So I do not see Tammy as an option. I think definitely we'll have to get someone because I personally always like Giroud better, and I think just from this year, Giroud was probably a better player than Tammy, even though Tammy had he had the most goals for Chelsea. But to be honest, Giroud played so much better. So I think another option obviously is Lewandowski. But other than that, I mean, Kane, if we can get it, Lukaku, I would love to see Lukaku back. I would still want Haaland. But if Haaland's come, Lewandowski, Kane, Lukaku, and that's pretty much the only strikers. And if we do need to really search far, then we can get Ings. But I do see Tammy leaving. I do see another striker coming in. But Mia, what about you?
Yep, 100%. I think it's these four or no one, right? Honestly, I mean, I think Coachella, if he's there still in the comments, he's going to come out and rage. But apart from these four strikers that I mentioned, that you mentioned also, in fact, I don't think Lewandowski is an option because he's too old and Chelsea don't offer more than 1 year contracts for 30 plus players. So I think Lewandowski is not an option either. So one of Kane, Lukaku, and Haaland. I think Kane is another one who's probably going to favor City. Like, he's not going to favor City, but Daniel Levy's not going to sell to us, which is why I think that leaves us with just Haaland and Lukaku. And Haaland is the one who has resale value, so it brings down to that one. But if we fail to get a striker, I would personally prefer Tammy to stay, but that doesn't mean he becomes first choice, right? I would still prefer Kai Havertz to play in the false nine role and Werner next to him, like we saw towards the latter end of last season. I think it could work. And especially if we switch to a 4 at the back, which would allow Mount to move into midfield, right? So that would allow 3 attacking spots. Because as of now, Mount is confirmed starting on the left, right? So we just have the centre forward in the right wing spot. But if we move to, say, a 4-3-3, then Mount can move into midfield, and then we have 3 spots left. So we could have Havertz through the middle, Werner on the left, and maybe Ziyech on the right, or Hudson-Odoi or Pulisic. I don't know, whoever is in the best of form. But if we do manage to pull that off, I still think it could work. Maybe not enough for us to win the league, but should secure top 4, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. And as I said, if we do not sign a big striker, then the max we will get is top 4. Maybe win the FA Cup, Carabao Cup, but we're not going to be winning those cups like the Champions League and stuff like that. But guys, if you guys are new to the stream, guys, we're We've got 8 people watching. We're on 13 likes on CFC chats, guys. Let's get the 15 likes, guys. Because obviously when you like, guys, the stream goes in the algorithm and more people get to watch it, guys. So make sure if you're enjoying to like, subscribe, notifications on, and on to the next topic. But as Anve says, it's either he misses or he's offside, and that's the thing. He's just so good on the ball, but he just can't finish. And that's as we just said.
Yep.
To wrap it up, we've just said we just need someone like Haaland to come in. But yeah, a lot of people do think Werner is underrated, and I mean even rivals they think Werner is good. I think a lot of people thought that he just had an off season, so hopefully he can he can prove all he said is wrong come next season, and definitely get a nice 20 plus goals. Hopefully, we hope.
Fingers crossed. We can hope.
Fingers crossed. I mean, I'll be with 10. 10, honestly. If we can get double digits and then get some nice assists, because obviously if we get Haaland, then Haaland will get majority of the goals.
Yep.
And then Werner can take the assists.
Yep. Hopefully that does work out. But yep, if we don't sign a striker, then Werner has to step it up. Then I think he has to get like at least 15 goals. But yep, I think if we do sign a striker, then Werner's going to be more of making space and making those runs in behind sort of player. But yep, let's see how it goes. Let's see how the transfer window unfolds. And I think Werner's going to have a good season though.
Yeah, actually, I agree with you. I don't think he's good on the ball. I think he's more good at creating the space, running. Yeah, because I'm gonna take that back. I don't think he's good on the ball. He doesn't have that dribbling. I think he's when he gets a ball's coming, he'll get to it quick because he's fast. He can dribble. I think he can dribble, but he's just more just creating that space, and he's very smart. He's very, very smart player. Seems like Kai Havertz up front, false line next. That's like our fourth backup striker. Like if we need a fourth striker, then Havertz can play up front. But like for now, I think keep him in that mid or like that wing position because he's all right, but like I don't think we could start him every game. I think he has those games where you can play him once and then have him off for a month and then come back striker. Not every game works for that.
Yep, I think for Germany in the Euros, especially, I think that's what I wanted to say. He never played as false nine. It was always either Gnabry who started or Sane who played through the middle, which is surprising considering both of them are natural wingers. But then, the manager Joachim Löw decided to play Gnabry or Sane as a striker, and he played Havertz and Muller off them, which is what I think Chelsea should implement next season as well. Havertz and Mount should play off the striker, whoever it is.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and that's another question as well, ziyech. And as Anve said here, ziyech can be a key assist for Chelsea next season. That's another people, and a lot of people have not been talking about is ziyech. Very unfortunate, not the best season last season, but he's just decent. I feel like he was decent, but not obviously his best. And I would love to see so much more out of ziyech. I'm so glad we did not loan him because he's a fantastic player. Definitely did not loan him. So hopefully. I mean,
he's got a hat trick too in our friendly game, didn't he? So, fingers crossed. Hopefully, it's a big season loading for him.
Because the last friendly, he got injured again, and then he was out for a month. It's like just got here, and then he got injured. Proper striker. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we won with no proper striker, and that's saying something. But we can't do that again. We can't do that again. That was pretty luck, But when you look at our goals, our games were 1-0, 1-1. 2-1. They weren't like this 4-0, 5-0. It was 1-0. Well, I lost 1-0, 1-1-0. There's no this big game. So it was pretty lucky, but at the same time, we did adapt to it. But now teams, they're not going to let us get away with it again. They've learned their lesson, and that's why we need to get one now before, they've already seen how we play without a striker. So if we go, again, being weak without a striker, they're going to come in strong. So that's why we're going to have a stronger striker coming in so they don't expect it.
And it's not even like they haven't improved, right? I mean, they were probably a little off, and then they've gone on and splashed the cash and improved themselves while we haven't. So we remain the same level we were last season while everyone else has improved. So, But despite that, I don't think we'll win the Champions League. I mean, the number of time it takes, it's very hard to retain the Champions League, and Real Madrid is probably the only club who've done it, and when they won that 3 times in a row. But apart from that, it's a very, very hard feat. So I can't see us doing that. We should though go for the Premier League. It's been far too long without a Premier League title, and if we get that striker, Premier League, we simply have to go all out for it, honestly.
Yeah, and I would love to see in the Premier League, because again, Ramsey's the only one who got back-to-back Champions League, and it's going to be very, very hard to get that back. But as Sean said here, would you prefer stick into a 4-3-4-2-1 or change into a 4-2-3-1/4-3-3 to fit multiple numbers of attacking options? Amir, what do you think of this?
Yep, I will say that we do need to change it. I mean, I am. If you were to talk about it on a football scale, I am a little bit of a purist, and which is why I would prefer 4-3-3. I think 4-3-3 is the best football formation to exist. It is so well balanced, and it allows us to exploit every single half space on the pitch, which is why I'm a huge fan of 4-3-3. I also think that our fullbacks are more suited to a 4 at the back than a 5 at the back, which is also why Tuchel does not like Reece James in the right wing back, which is why we were linked with Hakimi in the first place, and which is why also towards the latter end of the season you could see Reece James playing right centre back and Azpilicueta playing right wing back, because he's adventurous, right? Reece James just likes to stick back, and he is the perfect player in a Pep Guardiola system, but he is not good in a 5 at the back, which is why I think that's his best position. Chilwell as well on the left. So I think we have the proper players for a 4-3-3. Mount as an 8 would be incredible as well, in my opinion. Personally, he would be a fantastic number 8 because he has the energy to get up and down the pitch. He can contribute defensively as well, and his passing is incredible. In fact, I was just looking it up, like he is above the 90th percentile in every single passing metric amongst all young European midfielders. So he would honestly excel as one of the number 8s, in my opinion, and that frees up space in the attack as well, right? That allows us to have 3 attackers. Like I said earlier, we can have Kai Havertz through the middle, Werner on the left, and probably Ziyech or Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic, or whoever it is on the right, and we can accommodate all of that. So I would love that, but we need a DM. Right, we have to sign a DM for this to work, and if we don't, then I don't see the 4-2-3-1 or the 4-3-3 working. And if we continue with the same set of midfielders that we have right now at the club, then I would say 3-4-2-1. But if we were to sign a DM, then I would say 4-3-3.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. I mean, if we do get a striker, I would love to test Werner and Haaland at the front. At the front, I would love to see that. But I think just 4-3-3 is just the best way to go. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love when they play 3 at the back, and obviously if Tuchel prefers to play 3 at the back, then he knows that at 3 at the back is best. Because I mean, Christensen plays so much better in 3, Rudiger plays so much better in the 3, but unfortunately our wing backs don't as much. But honestly, whatever Tuchel does, we just have to agree with it, because obviously he's the best of the best. But I wouldn't mind against saying a 3, but at the same time I would like to see a casual just 4-3-3, because we don't really have, as you say, a proper DM. We've got Jorginho. Yeah, I'm growing. Obviously, I'm not saying get a DM. That's what I've been, debating for this whole stream. But we don't have that solid. Like, he's not a proper DM. He's a midfielder, but he plays that DM role too. That's like Kante as well. Kante's a midfielder, but he plays that DM role sometimes, but he's not the best at it.
Yeah.
So I would say perfect 4-3-3, but even this season, the 3-4-3 worked out perfectly. So if we continue to be, if we're winning games in 3-4-3 and we're losing in 4-3-3, then go to 3-4-3.
Yeah, exactly.
But obviously depends.
That's a good point. I mean, we won the Champions League with 3 at the back, didn't we? So it's a pretty good start.
I mean, maybe the players may adapt to it or something. So whatever, that's why they have these friendlies to test out, and hopefully we get Haaland quicker, so he can get some friendlies going, and then he can get on the pitch and test with other players. Is Chelsea 6-1? I think that's a bit low of an odd. I would put it a bit higher. I mean, actually for Champions League, I would say maybe a bit low, but maybe Prem. No, that's 6-1.
Yeah, I mean, no, probably we don't encourage betting, by the way, in case you guys are genuinely serious about this. We do not encourage betting. But yeah, it depends. I think it depends on the striker.
Depends on his transfers.
If you're not going to sign anyone and that's confirmed, then I would say that's pretty low. In fact, I would expect the likes of United and even City to finish higher than us. But if you do manage to sign a striker, then that would be an excellent bet, wouldn't it?
I'm just thinking Ankin's thing now. I forgot to click it. Alonso was a striker. I mean, he scores the goals, so why not? And that's the thing. He plays well in a 3-4-3 because he does that well in that form. We can have Chilwell behind him. He does well there. But as Enve said here, we only have box-to-box midfielders. We need someone who can take long shots. We actually don't have anyone who really... I think Rudiger takes a lot of our long shots, and he does a lot of our long balls as well. So we don't really have anyone who does this. Shots. I mean, Mount takes our free kicks. Even Reece James takes our free kicks. So a lot of our defensive players take our free kicks, not as so much as our midfielders like Kovar, Jorginho, or even Kante. So
Yep.
there's something really like a Ward Prowse. We need someone like a Ward Prowse to take our big free kicks. But Ward Prowse, I don't think is going anywhere, guys. So don't get excited if you're a big Ward Prowse fan. I saw something on Twitter before. I'm just gonna say I've been trying to find it this whole stream, but I can't find it at the moment, guys. But I did see something with some transfer about Haaland, but I've lost it. A PSG insurance home. What was that?
PSG.
It was just like
what?
No. This was a Pogba that just popped up. Wait, that's old.
Okay. Oh,
That's
okay.
It was just like some quote that someone said, and it was about Tuchel. How he felt about Haaland. I'm trying to find it, but I can't find it. But I'm looking now, and it's official that Man United's attack has Sancho, Cavani, Martial, Bruno, Ahmad, and Rashford. Wow. I mean,
that's some solid striking partnerships, aren't there?
So you got what? Sancho on the right, Cavani in the middle, Rashford on the left,
I would assume. Yep.
Bruno behind them.
Yep. And they have Greenwood and Martial off the bench on top of that. So
yeah, and they got Pogba next to Bruno, and then because they're going to a 4-3-3-2. That because they used to play their 4. I think it was a 4-4. No, what did they used to play?
There used to be a 4-2-3-1. I think it used to be
McTominay and Fred used to be that link up they used to have. And he used to not do too well. McFred doesn't. Oh my god! Because we're not going to be seeing that anymore because they're switching it now. But as Tom over Inside, I saw his tweet before. He's just getting sick of these Haaland updates 24/7. And honestly, I agree. I think there's just a lot of just these rumors 24/7. But
it's the same thing that's getting recycled at the same time. Everyone keeps saying the same thing. Haaland wouldn't say no to Chelsea. Dortmund probably wouldn't say no to a big offer, but it has to be a big offer, and Chelsea have to make a big offer. That's all that. It's the same two things that keeps getting repeated. So we have to make a big bid, and we have to wait for Dortmund's response. And until we do that, there's not much news to report, honestly.
I mean, at the same time, if this news does go through, like, look at if everyone's reporting on it, you know how big this news is. Like, this is a big transfer, guys. And if they do pull this off, it's always going to break Prem records, like 130. That's a lot. But I think it's confirmed as well, also that the players are returning back August 7th.
First week, right? I think the first week.
Yeah, they have to return back because the England players.
Yep.
After that, I'm trying to find. I can't find it. I'm thinking about. I can't find it. Ooh, Pulisic over Sancho. Ooh, I just saw that when I was just about to close. I just saw someone put a Pulisic over Sancho. I don't know. I mean, Sancho is probably better, but that's discussion for another day. Has Haaland pursuit gone longer than Havertz? I mean, I see Havertz. If you're talking about pursuit, you mean like potential pursuit, or like what do you mean? Oh, like, oh my god! I thought what am I thinking? Yeah, the transfer pursuit. I remember we're talking about this. We're talking about the superstitions and how BV Bayer Leverkusen posted Kai Havertz goals on the 20th of July, and then BVB did the same thing. So. On the same day as well, so it has, I think, gone a little bit over. Nearly, it's coming close, but it's the same. It's the same thing. It's the same thing we had with Havertz. It was the same up and back. Kind of these rumors were being heard. And I kind of believe in the superstition now after the Champions League. After all these, as Dubos, had all these posts, and it's like, what the hell? And then when Havertz scored, and it was like the same goal as Torres, I'm like. I was just blown away. And I'm like, I believe in everything now. All these Chelsea superstitions, I believe.
Yep. Fingers crossed, though. Fingers crossed, because there are a lot of similarities. Actually, the club last season, I forgot the Bayer Leverkusen chief executive's name, but then he always kept saying that Havertz is not for sale. He's going to come back for preseason and all of that. And it's the same thing that Michael Zorc is saying now at the moment at Dortmund as well. So he's saying that Haaland is our player. He's already back for preseason training. He is training with the squad as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's banging in goals in training. We're seeing videos of that. So I think they are doing everything possible to try and jack up the price and invite a bid. They're trying to put Chelsea on the back foot. But yeah, let's see if Marina and Co do respond and do put a bid in, because until we put a bid in, nothing's for certain.
Mm-hmm. But that's what BVB do. They buy them cheap and they sell them, no matter how really good. That's why I'm thinking that I'm just so confident, because they're not the type to keep them. Like if they hear 130 million or get 75 next season, they're going to instantly go 130 million, because they're the team that prior money over talent. Like they'll sell a player, like they go, okay, he can score goals for us in 5 years. We don't care. We'll take the 130, because they've done that with Usman, if they've done with Pulisic. Done it with Sancho again, and now we're going to see possibly with Haaland. So that's just the team they are, the club they are. So I definitely see them, and that's why I'm so confident in him coming. But it will be the first time a whole transfer budget is spent on a single player, and that's insane. 130 mil. I mean, you can buy so many players. I'm trying to think who we can buy with that, but that's just so right now.
Neymar and Mbappe are probably the only two deals which are more expensive, right? Neymar, I think, was 200 million and Mbappe was 160. I think those two are the only two deals which are more expensive than this.
I think it was switched around. I think Mbappe was 200, Neymar was 160.
Was it? No, I think Neymar was 200. I think Neymar had the 200 million release clause at Barcelona.
Oh, the release, yeah. Oh, you mean former? You mean former transfers?
Yeah.
I think now. I'm like, I didn't see him at 200 million.
Not now. But in all-time transfers, I think it would rank third, wouldn't it? I don't think anyone spent more than that on a single.
But Premier League, it'll be first. It'll be first,
definitely.
Premier League. I think the first 100 million in a Premier League. Because I think what's his name? Harry Maguire broke the 80 mil. Yeah. Now with the three numbers, the three digits, it's gonna possibly break an even bigger award in the Prem, which is that's just unbelievable to think, honestly. But obviously I hope we get him. And his wages, I think, will be about 100k a week, maybe 80k. It'll be very high. So that's something Chelsea also need to consider. Because we missed last stream as well, we'll just talk about here. I'm sort of and the players that have left Chelsea is Giroud and Tomori, and Gilmore is on loan, if you guys don't know. And I think Norwich is playing a friendly at the moment.
Yep, they are, but against Huddersfield, but Gilmore is not in the squad. On the other side, though, Colville is in the squad for Huddersfield, and he is playing. And apparently, he's having a great game. I was just scrolling through Twitter, and he seems to be having a pretty decent game.
The finish now. I'm just checking who won. It was 2-0 Norwich. Yep. Okay, so 2-0 Gilmore didn't play. That's unfortunate. We'll love to see him play. I mean, again, half the fans watching this are probably just Chelsea fans watching for Gilmore, and a bit upset that he isn't there at the moment. But yeah, I think that's the stream for today. I mean, do you have anything else to say?
Nope. That's about it. I think we covered basically every single aspect, and hopefully I'm still seeing some Haaland comments there, but we've talked too much about Haaland, guys. Let's save some for the next stream. But it's going to be a tough deal, and we all know it. But until we make the first bid, nothing's going to happen, and I think we have to do it fast because we're running out of time. We're almost at the end of July now, so we've got to get our heads out and put a bid in if we're serious about it.
Definitely. And I mean, as Sean said, is his agent wants a lot, and Dortmund want a lot. But I think with the right owner we have, I think we can definitely get it. So just quickly pop this back on screen as well, guys. Just if you haven't already checked that Chico is interested in Marquinhos, hopefully we can see that in the long stream. But Mia, any last words before we play the new intro again and we head off?
Yeah, that playing the intro sounds good. That's about it. Let's look ahead to next week's streams. And in fact, I've just got a reply from a very big guest right as we were doing the stream. We will disclose it later. But keep the lookout, guys, because we have a lot of guests coming in the future, not at the moment, but definitely in the future. And yep, so as always, I'll say it first and then you can say it as well. Like and subscribe and hit the bell notification, because we're gonna have a stream every week.
Oh yeah, definitely, guys. And we're one like off 15 likes, so make sure to hit that before we go. And we'll be live, I think, next maybe Monday or Tuesday. I think Chelsea's Perspective is looking to come on next time, guys. If you guys haven't already, guys, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Guys, enjoy the intro. See you guys next stream. Peace out.